Keyless-Ally everyone, here's our surprise bonus video. And what am I discussing today? Why, I'm discussing the mods I used on Nexus Mods for my PC first time playthrough of Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Now I'm not going to count Pinnacle Station as that was official DLC, so there's no reason I should actually count that as a mod, but I'll count it as official DLC. So the first mod I used for this playthrough was the community patch. This should bug out any bugs as well as, get the game up to proper specs. The second one I used was, and this is going to be a lot of people's favorite because I know a lot of players use it nowadays, the ME1 diversification mod. This is a very interesting mod because it adds, it changes positions, add timers and everything. Like with Bring Down the Sky, but it adds an extra challenge here or there. But it also adds, like it makes the Citadel, like places like the Citadel and Novaria, where you have like different types of aliens and human allies and whatnot, and it adds more background characters. Basically, it adds like a better aesthetic to the Citadel. It changes around a couple quest lines. Like there were some quest lines in the original game, and even this perpetuated even in Legendary Edition, like stuff like the Terra Firma Charles Suricino and the what's his name, Elias Keeler side mission. Like these are moved to an earlier point in the game. It actually makes you like sets up a little quest line saying you should return to the Citadel and debrief with Ambassador Udina about like particular missions. But yeah, I love the diversification mod. I love the aesthetic, how you've basically got like more, you've got female Turians walking around, you've got Elcor just sort of walking around. Everything feels more interesting and dynamic. There's even like, when you go to like one of the ward's back alleys, there's even like a Quarian girl that's just kind of like huddled to show that like she's kind of struggling, stuck in the slums of the whole thing, and kind of makes the whole concept of like what the Quarians go through a bit more on their pilgrimages, a bit more dynamic, because you actually start to care. Like, not that the first game didn't make you care about the characters, but the diversification mod really makes you pay attention to the background more, because there's so many people kind of doing things, kind of just going on. It's really nice. One mod I did, and a friend recommended this. He said it was pretty important, and I thought so too. It was a sort of a weapons, I forgot what it was called, but it's like a weapons overhaul mod to make the weapons in the first game look more like the second and third, so that it feels more, streamlined and connected to the other aspects of the universe, and just sort of like helping continuity flow a little better, which I'm good with. I'm happy with that. I've got no qualm with that. The next mod I downloaded, and this might strike some people as weird, but it's just, I kind of like the aesthetic of it, and it is the restoration of the red sky on Eden Prime. Now, for those who don't know, Saren's ship Sovereign, in the original Mass Effect game, the sky had turned completely red because of its presence and its energy. And that's absent in the Legendary Edition. It gives you more of a normal sky that's at most cluttered with smoke, but not in this instance. This restores the red Sovereign colored sky, and I personally prefer it for Eden Prime. I actually do prefer this mod, because I think it looks aesthetically better and, original and more interesting. Mind you, most of the mods I download are for mostly aesthetic and lore accurate mods. So I want it to be as lore accurate as possible to the universe and to the games. So the next mod that I downloaded is Saren's Stages. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, wait, how is that lore accurate? He kind of starts in the Black Robe. There is an option to change it to his armor phase, and that's kind of what I chose. I specifically chose, as far back as Eden Prime, his armor phase, because I wanted to stay accurate to the Mass Effect Revelation novel, because as far as I'm aware, he never really wore the black robe. He was just kind of in his silver armor. But basically, the way this stages goes is that he basically looks normal at Eden Prime, and like he doesn't have the robotic Geth arm and the tubes coming out of the back of his head. In the Saren Stages mod of this one, basically Saren looks like just your regular, run-of-the-mill Turian, except he's got those 2 extra things on the side, and even has like different eye color, which was a little disorienting, but at the same time I kind of like the aesthetic of it. And it isn't until Vermeer that he gets his more blue, almost kind of cybernetic eyes, and it isn't until fully when you get to the final battle of the Citadel that he's got the Geth arm, he's got the tubes in the back of his head. So personally, I like it better because when he mentions that he was implanted to strengthen his resolve, for those who don't know, play the games, you'll find out what he's talking about. But it makes the implant seem more realistic by that point, because by this point he no longer has like a regular arm, he no longer has, a free will mind, he's straight up seeing things in the eyes of the Reapers. So it is what it is, Finally, and this mod's kind of a hot take, at least as far as I'm concerned, the extended Hot Labs mod on Noveria. Now, my problem with this mod is that when I downloaded it, it's still to this day kind of buggy, and it's kind of like, it's a bit more open, thankfully, so you get an extended location of what the Hot Labs looks like, get to explore them more, not just some little room where you talk to, what's his name, Yaroslav or something like that. It's a full, like, area. There's even like a Solarian that kind of just unexpectedly goes nuts in it. And I guess somebody did the dialogue for him, some random modder. But basically, yeah, like, this one was a mixed bag because I liked the creepy atmosphere that was in it. I liked a lot of those aspects, but because it was just kind of buggy and didn't work right away, I kind of had to make it work a little. It was kind of a mixed problem. So I'm hoping down the line modders will do more with that, just kind of fix it. But honestly, if they don't, this mod might be skippable. I only kept it because it's lore accurate and more content. So I'm not gonna complain too much about it. So, and that's it. That is all the mods that I did for my playthrough of Mass Effect Legendary Edition LE1 on my PC. And frankly, I had a lot of fun with these mods. I'm looking forward to trying out the mods in ME2 as well as in ME3 in the Legendary Edition, just to see some of the dynamic, lore-accurate prospects that have been added to these games. Even maybe a few non-super-duper lore aspects, just to increase the fun factor, I guess. But for the most part, I like to remain lore accurate. I like to make sure that I get the original spirits of the games correctly. But yeah, I love all these mods. Even Hot Labs, despite its little bug issue. But yeah, and I love installing these mods. I love playing these mods. They were fun, especially for someone who's playing the PC version for the first time. A fun little enriching experience, because I've played on console for years. But what are your thoughts on these mods? Have you played them? Have you not played them? Do you even own the PC version? If not, and you have a PC, what are you waiting for? Get to this. But anyway, comment below. Please let me know. This concludes all of our Mass Effect 1 story arcs. And I will see you guys in the next season when we start the build-up to Mass Effect 2. Alright, thank you so much for joining me in these videos. I should go.